Hey there everyone, and first off I have to make an apology. I promised I would make another time-lapse Tuesday this week, however I didn't. The reason was, I was kinda coming down with a cold, and did not really feel like coding the game yesterday, so time basically just ran by, and by the time I did feel like coding, it was already almost bedtime and I did not have enough time to record and edit the video. So, to make up for that, uh, I'm not really sure what I do or what I will do. I guess I'll make one next week if I can, if I'm not totally overwhelmed. But for now, I might as well instead work on this time-lapse, or not time-lapse Tuesday, this tutorial, second scripting tutorial. And I apologize if I'm stuttering more than usual and I'm not thinking straight. I literally just woke up. Yeah. Anyways, in the previous video, I actually recommend you watch that because it actually shows you how to get a scripting environment set up and how to run scripts and the basics of Lua in ShiftOS. In this episode, we'll be working with the file skimmer and file system APIs to help us write and read files, get directory and file listings, etc. And yeah, so without further ado, let's begin. If you want to see a list of all files, the best way to do it is to use the FS API and do get files. And then what we can do is we can then flist equals, and then for nothing, and then v in pairs to table flist do and console write line v, and that will give you a list of all files in the root of the drive, as we will soon see. Fs test.lua. I think I have a script that's already named that. Fs tutorial.lua. I keep forgetting that bug is a thing. So now we will go to utilities, file skimmer to run our script, fs tutorial, and as you can see, it printed a load of text to our terminal that corresponds to every file in this directory. No directories, but every file. So if we go back here, we can also do dlist equals fs get directories, and then you can basically copy this and then oh, whoops, that was a mistake. You can tell I'm not awake today. Alright, and then we'll replace flist with dlist, and then we hit save. Run it again, and then we get directory listings at the bottom. We get home and system. Awesome. So that's pretty simple. We can list directories and files in a given directory, but let's say we want to read the contents of a file. Well, you can do that in either, or there are two ways you can read a file. You can read it in its binary form, which brings back an array of bytes, or you can read it in its text form, which brings back a string. I will not demonstrate the binary form because that's going to be pretty difficult to code. not really, but I don't feel like it right now. I'll just show off the text form, but if you do want to do binary, you can do bytes equals fs read all bytes 0:/fs tutorial .lua, and if you want to read the text, you can do console write line fs read all text fs tutorial .lua. Alright, so that can read the contents of a file, and we are then taking that string and passing it over to I'm losing my train of thought. We're passing it over to the console, so fs tutorial.lua, and as you can see, it has printed the code of that file to the terminal, and yeah, so that's how you read. But let's say you want to write text to a file. Well, for that we're going to need the help of an info box, because if you saw the previous tutorial, info boxes can be used to write or to get data from the user. So what we will do is we'll use the info box input method, type something, and we'll put it in a document for you. Alright, and then we will just do fs write all text, and then we'll do 0:document.txt, and then text. Pretty simple. We'll hit save. fs tutorial.lua. Go back to our file skimmer and run it, and we get our little info box here. We'll say we are typing a document, and then if we do that little trick to get our our folder refreshed, I need to program that into beta 1.1. If we open document.txt, we get what we wrote into the info box, and if we were to do it again and type something different, it would appear in here. So that's a pretty good way to write data to a file. You can't really write data at the end of a file just yet, but it is possible. You just have to read in the contents and then append the contents to the end of the string, and then write that out, which is what you do in C# anyways. So that's reading and writing of files, then listing directories and files within a directory. Last thing I'm going to show is how you go about recreating the new folder button in File Skimmer, which is something new coming to beta 1.1. And that's simply it pops open a info box, and warning, I might sneeze pretty soon. It asks you for a name of a directory. Let's say, because we've got home in a directory, let's just make a folder called school, because I don't know, and it appears in the File Skimmer. I can't show you how to refresh the File Skimmer in Lua because you can't do that, but I can show you how to recreate the info box. So all we have to do is we add another info box prompt, and we'll do it inside this info box because we don't want it to trigger until after. Whoa, that looks weird. I don't even know why that feels weird, because the indentation is wrong, that's why. And what we'll do is we will first change the message. Type a name for this directory, and then we will do fs create directory 0, and then we'll concatenate that with text. Pretty simple. When we save and run the file, which we're about to do, fstutorial.lua, we'll close out a text pad because that's going to be the last thing we're going to show in this video, and then we go do that because I don't even know why I just did that. I didn't need to. Whatever. If we run the script, we get our first info box. Hello world. And then we get our second info box, and we'll name it, I don't know, because going with the theme here. How about store? Because I have a thing for naming directories after places. I don't know why. So as you can see, it created a new directory, and it's nice and empty. We can create new directories inside it if we want to. For example, room, because why not? And maybe employee lounge, because that exists. But yeah, that's about it for this tutorial. Again, apologies for no time-lapse Tuesday. Those are a bit harder to make because I have to record them at real time, and then I need to edit them, and then I need to put my computer through hell as it tries to render them, and then I need to upload them, and I didn't feel like going through that yesterday, and it didn't have enough time. It would have been uploaded today anyways, so yeah, that's about it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. And for those of you at school, good luck.